Later this hour, the man of the hour, that gentleman right there, California gubernatorial candidate John Cox, giving his first interview on this network since advancing to the general election in November. Let's talk about the congressional races in California. There will be a Republican on the ballots in every race this November. I don't think this was a blue wave that the Democrats were hoping for. I want to check in with Jim Brulte, chairman of the California Republican Party. You've seen the latest results, later than I have, I believe. I don't think there was a blue wave. Tell me.
No, there wasn't a blue wave. And, Stuart, you have been saying for months that the top issue in California was going to be the gas tax. Republican candidates for Congress led the effort to repeal the gas tax, which will be on the November ballot. All of those candidates did very well. One of the things that is critical here in California, though, is recall elections. And yesterday, we recalled Josh Newman, a Democrat state senator. He was the deciding vote on the gas tax. He got recalled by almost 20 points, and we replaced him with a Republican Senator-elect Ling Chang.
Now, was he a Democrat or was he a Republican?
He was a Democrat. And if there was a blue wave, it certainly didn't show up. And the number one issue there, Stuart, as you have mentioned, was the gas tax.
Now, the gas tax was not a feature in most of the primary races in California yesterday. It's an issue, you think, in the November election. That's correct, right?
Yes, it is, but it was the number one issue in this Senate recall, and almost every one of the Republicans running for Congress mentioned the gas tax. It was prominent in their campaign. It's just one of the many, many taxes that Jerry Brown and the Democrats here have raised.
Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling positive after yesterday's primaries in California? Did you do as well as you expected, the Republican Party?
Yes, we were very happy. You know, we wanted a Republican in the top two for governor. You can't get to the top one if you don't get into the top two. John Cox ran unbelievably well. The third-place finisher, Antonio Villaraigosa, was hundreds of thousands of votes behind him. We know we're the underdog, but we're going to fight harder. We know we have 7 congressional districts that Hillary Clinton carried. We think we're going to do well in all of those. And, Stuart, if you'll let me put California in perspective. We have 14 Republican-held congressional seats. That's why we're a target-rich environment for Nancy Pelosi. 41 states out of the 50 states have less than a total of 14 congressional seats. We did very well. Our candidates overperformed. The Democrats underperformed, and we are eager for the general election fight to begin.
As I said at the top of the hour, I've said many times in the past, not recently, but in the past, I've said in my lifetime, there'll never be a Republican voted in a statewide election in California. I am prepared to eat my words, if not my hat. So you tell me, what are the odds? Honestly, what do you think the odds are that there will be a Republican win in a statewide election in California in the next, say, 20 years? Because that's, I think, my life expectancy.
Well, you know, I don't know about the next 20 years, but I'd say in this election it's 4 out of 10. You know, Gavin Newsom is really far to the left of the California electorate. The Democrats in California, all they want to do is talk about Donald Trump. And there's a strategic reason for that on their part. They own California. They have been in charge of California for 8 years. They broke it. They don't want to run on their record. We've got crime rate rising. They let 40,000 felons out of state prison. The violent crime rate's up by almost 16% over the last 2 years. They talk about income inequality. We have the largest income inequality. They're in charge. We're 10% of the population in the nation, and yet we're almost 37% of the welfare recipients. You mentioned the Bay Area. Half the folks in the Bay Area wanting to move. 60% of Californians want to move because of the high cost of housing. The Democrats own California. They broke it, and Republicans are the fix.
You know, Jim, that was a fine campaign speech, and I'm sure you'll be giving it a lot. And we'll check back in with you before November, and that's a fact. Jim Brulte, everyone. Thanks for joining us, sir. Appreciate it. Okay.
Thanks, Stuart.